I was in high school when the towers came down. I remember the day that we were in my English class, we were actually talking about Aeschylus and Greek tragedy. Someone came in to click the TV on and we actually watched the second plane hit the second tower. I knew from that day forward I wanted to dedicate my life to making sure that never happened again on our soil. I kind of always envisioned myself growing up to be a G.I. Joe, and I remember a moment in Afghanistan where me and a couple buddies were doing an overwatch on a mountain, and I remember looking down and seeing I had my body armor on, a rifle, and night vision and thermal vision, and there were helicopters flying and stuff like that, and I remember remarking to my buddy, like, hey man, we made it. Like, we're grown up G.I. Joes. That was actually the night that Osama bin Laden was killed in Abbottabad, not too far from where we were in Afghanistan. So it was obviously an incredible feeling to be on deployment and to feel that sense of fulfillment, right? Like my mission of mitigating that threat of terror on a world scale felt like I felt like I had accomplished something real, and I felt very connected to my purpose. Unfortunately, at the tail end of my 2011 deployment, I stepped on an improvised explosive device, which thankfully I was able to walk away from, but unfortunately I lost my vision as a result. You can imagine it being very difficult to wake up in a hospital bed with that sort of job and that purpose taken away. The things that got me through that were kind of twofold. One, I thought about my buddy Tyler Trahan, who was killed in Iraq in 2009. I went to Tyler's funeral. I watched that coffin go down in the ground, and I watched that flag be folded up and be handed to his mother. And I couldn't help but think that Tyler knowingly gave up his life doing the job that he did so that I could continue living my life, or so that we all can continue to live our life. I remember thinking of Tyler when I was in that hospital bed and thinking of how lucky I was to still be alive. And that fact was made more poignant to me because when the actual blast went off in Afghanistan, I thought that I had died. When the doctors were telling me that you're blind, we can't save your vision, and we're really sorry about that, the overwhelming thought in the back of my mind was, I'm just happy to be alive. I'm just so happy to be here. And obviously there was this ensuing difficulty in transition of purpose. What's my life gonna look like blind? What jobs do blind people do? And how am I gonna be relevant and things like that? Those were struggles. It would be foolish to say I dreamed to become a Paralympian, right? Like obviously I didn't dream that I would become blind, and I didn't dream that I'd be a Paralympian. I started competitively swimming when I was 11. When I showed up to start swimming, I was by far the worst kid. And I didn't want to be the worst kid. And my dad told me the way that you're not the worst kid is you have to work really hard. So I did that, and almost immediately I was able to see a reward. I trained hard for a month, and I wasn't the worst kid anymore. I trained hard for a year, and I was one of the better kids on the team. I trained hard for 4 years, and I was making junior national cuts and things like that. That dedication to swimming reaffirmed my sense of character, enabled me to go to the Naval Academy, where that sort of concept was exploded for me, where I started to really understand how character can filter into other aspects of your life, from academics to leadership. When I look back on who I am now, the person that I am, weirdly, is driven from the experiences I had in competitive swimming from developmental ages all the way up through college. Thankfully, I had the opportunity to get introduced to the Paralympics pretty quickly. Actually, there was someone who was quick to point out that I was lucky to be injured in an Paralympic year in 2011, leading up to the 2012 Games in London. Very quickly, we were able to get into blind swimming. For my first race out the gate, I was actually 5th in the world, which was a good spot to be in. I made the Paralympic national team, went to the trials that year, raised that number 5 to number 1, and then was able to compete in the London Games. It was an amazing experience to be at the Games, let alone winning a race. It was very cathartic for myself and my family to make that transition within a year. So swimming, it didn't start off as a desire to be a gold medalist. It started off as just, hey, look at me, I'm the same as I was before. And not only can I do it, I can do it well. Telling my mom that I'm gonna be blind for the rest of my life was harder on her than it was on me. But it was really important for her to see me swim. It was just something she could latch onto to say, Brad's gonna be okay. And then for it to go from Brad's gonna be okay to Brad's a gold medalist was obviously really incredible for my family, who was there in the stands, who lived that whole experience with me, who I was able to, after getting that gold medal, I was able to go up and be in the stands with my mom, and I actually put that medal around my mom's neck, and it was healing for my family, and I can see the healing effect it has on the community, and I wanna put that out there as much as possible. So that's like my mission in life, really.